Morning, everyone. It's 5 after 8, and I'm doing this a little on the early side today because there's not a lot of economic news or anything, and there is stock news. Asia and Europe are both down. China is down on the COVID surge that is taking place there. Um, I have no clue why, on any given day, this kind of market reaction occurs. We've been talking about COVID and the problems in California and other U.S. states that are setting all time record highs, and the variants from South Africa and the UK. And I mean, all of this stuff is here, but today it's down. And the only thing that I can think of is that when we start to see earnings like we saw earlier this week with reasonably good news and bad action, the market gets a little nudgy. In news this morning, we have Alphabet in two pieces of information. Alphabet shutting down Loon, Loon, which was the test of internet being driven by balloons. Didn't really understand it from the standpoint of how long can a balloon last, but that's the case. Google Australia is talking about charging or shutting down if Australia makes them start to pay for the news that goes out. So we'll see how that shakes out. Last night we had a couple of earnings. IBM, as usual, revenues miss. Unusual software sales were down. The company is, you know, a giant that used to be really a giant, and frankly, it just isn't anymore. They can try and turn it around, but we'll see. In the meantime, the stock's 121.05, down $10.60, or 8%. Intel yesterday, according to them, they got hacked, and they got into some of the financials of the company, and that's why they released their numbers before the close instead of after the close. The stock shot up as high as about 63.75. Right now, it's trading 59.50, and that's actually down $2.96, or 4.7%. CSX lost money, but not lost money, but missed on expectations for revenues. The stock didn't really react last night, but this morning it's down $2.60 at 89, but that's with the backdrop of the futures being sharply lower. Ford about to recall 3 million cars because of problems with Takata airbags. What the hell were they waiting for? This has been in the news for 5 years. So not only are they still using them, but they didn't bother to do a recall last year or the year before or the year before that. Sometimes I just don't understand. Maybe it's me. MGM holding back the release of the latest Bond movie, moving it from April to October. GlaxoSmithKline got FDA approval for their HIV drug. Okay, as I said, the futures are lower. Dow looks to open about down 240, although it's only 10 after 8, so lots of things can happen in the next hour and a half. So 240 on the Dow to the downside. S&P's down about 28, and the NASDAQ is down about 85. Last night I wrote and mentioned here that yesterday was an exhale day and things had gotten quiet. So we were all excited for the inauguration, and that seems to have worn off a little. Okay, chart on the screen is Bitcoin. And I've been telling anybody who'll listen that Bitcoin was a sale. We've sold a bunch of it, and I was looking for it to hold this area right here, which was on a closing basis, 29,155. And I use the futures, so don't text me and tell me it never closes. I understand that. But the futures markets do. And I'm looking for tonight's close over that 29,155 in order to consider reaching my price objective on the downside. If it doesn't hold that, as I've been saying, I think we could close this gap, which is at 24,605. So we'll see, but it looks pretty interesting. We're down here to 28,900, and we're still down a little, down 400, but we're way at the top of the range. So we'll see how that works. We are also short the oil on the basis of what I have been saying all along, that COVID is worse than it seems, and that we are going to see a drop in demand. We got short about here. It's gone against us quite a bit, although the options that we paid 75 cents for closed 63 yesterday, which is no big deal. And I'm sure we're in the inverse oil, SCO. And with this down 2.8%, SCO will be up twice that, or 11%. So those options will go at least to where we're in them and a little higher, and we'll see if this carries through. All right, everyone. Hope you have had a good short week, and just be careful out there. It's a tough market.